Welcome everyone to This Week in Geek. It's episode 60, and we have now seen 3 of the 4 DC movies of 2023. My name is Ren, and today I'm joined by the land from down under, Patrick Burrow. How are you doing today, Patrick?
I'm doing quite chipper, if I do say so. I'm having a stroke. If I do say so myself.
I'm spending the weekend with Australians because yesterday I hung out with Dave Lee because he's up in London, and now I'm doing the show with you. So I'm a very happy camper this weekend.
He didn't take me with him. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, he's here. He's here on holiday. So, yeah. And thank you so much for joining us, everyone. However you're finding us, whether you're listening to us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcast, or you're watching us live or watching on the replay, thank you so much for taking us with you wherever you're going. We're happy to be on your journey. In case you're new to the show, we basically have 3 segments on This Week in Geek. We start off with a weekly ranking where me and Patrick go over our everything we watched this past week and rank it from the worst to the best. We then highlight some of your weekly rankings in the live chats, and then we go into the main topic of discussion in each episode. That's the topic you see on the thumbnail, on the title. And finally, the third segment of the show is when we have a little post on my community tab on my channel to ask for your not your weekly ranking questions, your questions for the show. You can ask us about anything, anytime. And we can't guarantee that your question will be answered on that community tab post. But if you want to guarantee your question is answered, you can always support us while you ask great questions through the tip link or super chat feature. With that out of the way, Patrick, why don't you get us started on the weekly ranking?
So my first thing on the weekly ranking, I didn't watch much this week. It's been very busy. The first thing I watched this week was Strays. Look, I didn't watch anything bad this week. I was really excited for Strays personally because I just want a fun, raunchy comedy, and I'm glad that it delivered. I thought Strays was a wonderful time at the movies. I actually took a buddy of mine to the screening who turned out to be high on an edible while we were there, and he said it was the highlight of his life, and he felt like he was entering another dimension because of
Seems
that
like
movie.
the perfect mindset to watch that film on.
And
As someone who saw it sober.
Yeah, and he had a good time while high, and I had a blast. I thought that this was one of the funniest movies I've seen all year. It's raunchy, it's dumb, it's over the top, it's silly, but I appreciate a lot of crude dick jokes, a lot of dog dick jokes, as a matter of fact. There is one in particular involving a scene in a jail that had me in stitches. I never thought I wanted to see that, but you know what? I needed it in my life because this movie was just something else. The entire edible drug mushroom scene that's hinted in the trailer was also that
my
took
God.
a turn. I'm not going to spoil
It's one
why.
of those scenes where you see exactly where it's going, and it's all the better for it.
Exactly, and that's the best way to describe the movie. You see where it's going, and it goes, and that it's for the better. If I'm being honest, you know what you're getting into. I personally feel that if you go into this expecting a masterpiece of cinema, why? I even said to the rep from Universal that was at the screening after the movie because she came up and asked what I thought. And I'm like, I'm going to be honest, I didn't go in expecting it to be a great movie, which it's not. But for that, I had an absolute blast. It's a fun time at the movies that you can take your girlfriend or your parents. I don't recommend that, however. But it's a fun time with your mates or a loved one. And, you know, if you want to have a good belly laugh, and I say belly laugh because I was belly laughing for majority of the movie, I'd say a good 75% of the movie, and majority of the jokes landed for me. Like, I love crude, dark humor. That's a reason why I love South Park and Family Guy. This played into that. So I thought Strays was wonderful. I thought Strays was a really fun time, and good CG mouths on the dogs too. They
Good
actually did
CG
a
mouths.
damn.
I agree.
They did a damn good job with that. And the final scene, I never thought Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball would be so appealing to listen to. That scene, I did cross my leg at first, and then I started laughing, and I forgot about the pain.
Laughter is the best medicine, as they say.
Exactly. It cured the physical pain I felt experiencing that, not in the flesh, but visually through the movie. And the second thing I watched this movie, though, I started a binge rewatch of Orange is the New Black.
Ah.
Orange is the New Black is a damn good TV show that shows prison life in a way that I don't know if it's realistic because I've obviously never been to prison. But it's got a lot of heart to it, and there are really complicated character emotions. Yeah, it's got the boobs and the butt and the naked women everywhere, but there are so many topics and subject matters that the show tackles that's really just a side thing to the show as a whole. And I think everyone does a phenomenal job. I can't remember the actress's name, but the actress who plays Suzanne, which is Crazy Eyes, she's an incredible actress. I wish I got to see her in more, but she actually won a Golden Globe. I think, for her role as Suzanne in Orange is the New Black years ago. But
Uzo Aduba is her name.
Yeah, she's such an incredible actress. Danielle Brooks, who was in what is it, Peacemaker, plays Tasty in the show. Natasha Lyonne plays Nikki, who was in the recent Brian Johnson show for, I think, Prime, Yellow Jacket?
Peacock. Poker Face.
Poker Face, thank you very much. Yellow Jacket was a different one. But yeah, she was in the Orange is the New Black. Laura Prepon from that 70s show is in this as well, playing a very primary role. Taylor Schilling, who, by the way, was in a very underrated horror movie back in 2018 called The Prodigy. 2019, The Prodigy.
Don't think I've seen it.
It has Paul Fortex and was directed by Nicholas McCarthy. From what I'm looking at here, when Miles' behavior turns odd, his mother Sarah starts believing that he is possessed by a supernatural entity. Consequently, she seeks help to find out the truth and protect her son. It's
I am familiar with it, but I have not seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? I bought it on Blu-ray because it was a straight to DVD release back in 2019, and I thought it was a really good buy. I really enjoyed it, and she's also a very talented actress. She was also in Silver Linings Playbook, by the way.
She was.
Everyone in the show is really good. I'll say that much. There are certain scenes that hit a little close to home post 2020 and 2019 with certain events in regards to police brutality. But I guess that's a part of the impact of the show, that it is very realistic in regards to themes of drug abuse and real human emotions and going through all these different feelings throughout prison life and how cops treat them. It also tackles such subject matter of a officer falling in love with an inmate and the consequences and the complications that come with that, which has happened in real life. And it's a very mature show that I really, really enjoy. And I binged the first 3 seasons this week, and I still love the show today. I just won't be watching season 7 because season 7 fucking sucked.
All right. I watched 6 things this week, but I can't rank one of them.
I know what that is.
Look out for my review on Tuesday at 5 p.m. BST. I think that's 9 a.m. PST.
Because the release got pushed forward.
Yeah, because the release got pushed forward. I'm going to be seeing it on the big screen on Monday at a big event.
Where I'm
very excited for that.
I'm getting a similar thing here, like what happened with Rings of Power. I'm getting to go see it on the big screen.
Yeah. We did not get the Rings of Power thing, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, we did not get the event.
Wow.
Which is strange. But yeah, this week I watched 5 things, obviously, without that one counting. I couldn't rank that one. And ironically, as I'm looking at my list of things that I watched, it literally, going from last Sunday to today, they all went up. It literally went up as it went along. So I started with the worst thing last Sunday, and I watched the best thing earlier today, rewatched, because it was a rewatch. And at my very bottom is the Meg 2, The Trench, or as I like to call it, The Stench, because this reeks. This is awful. That first half hour, I was like, Patrick was kind of mean to this movie. Everyone I've seen talking about this movie was kind of mean to this. Is being cool. Oh no, okay.
No, it's bad. Right. About a good 70% of the movie is in the most bland fucking location at the bottom of a trench.
That's the most interesting location of the movie for me. The blandest one is when they go back up and they have to fight all the, I don't know, terrorists or whatever the fuck they are.
That whole scheming villain thing was just the most mind-boggling decision, and it's not in the book.
It still staggers me that this is based on books. It's fascinating. The
books are better.
I hope so. It doesn't take
The
that much
books
to be
are
better than
the
this.
books were literally used in my film studies as a way to adapt. Like my film teacher actually said, even though it's not a great movie, this is a script that you make to adapt such a concept. Because the first
Mhm.
film is not great, but it's entertaining. But it's like self-awareness and writing that into a fun script.
Mhm.
Whereas the Meg 2 is the complete fucking opposite of what the Meg was in regards to enjoyment, entertainment, and it's a mess.
I thought it was kind of fascinating because it's a movie that everything that works about it is done better than in the first movie. Everything
Hmm.
that doesn't work about it is done much worse than in the first movie. Um, Everyone just feels like they're sleepwalking through this. It doesn't feel like an actual movie. It feels like plot threads that happen to the same characters but feel completely disconnected. It's a film that
Hmm.
is very uninterested in itself, and so you become very uninterested in
Third,
it.
third
Yeah,
movie imminent. By the way, it's earned enough money to make a profit.
I know, I know. I'm not
It's
shocked.
made
I'm
what
just sad about it.
$450 million now, thanks to its Chinese
Something like
market.
that. Something like that. Speaking of Chinese market, here's something they should bank more on because I was bored on Sunday evening after Meg the Stench, and I wanted to watch something to put a smile on my face. And I was scrolling through Netflix, and I'm like, huh,
Oh, I know what you're
John
talking
Cena
about.
and Jackie Chan, they put a smile on my face. And so I watched this stupid looking movie called Hidden Strike, where speaking of Chinese sponsorship, beyond seeing all the like 6 or 7 production companies, after that you still get a black screen saying in association with, and the entire screen is filled with Chinese companies, like 10, 15 more. It's
Hmm.
ridiculous. And so is the movie, and I had a blast. I think this is a really good time. Nothing spectacular, nothing super memorable, just
Hmm.
a 100 minutes action buddy cop per se, kind of
Yeah.
over the top, ridiculous action comedy where both of them play to their strength. It's Jackie Chan being silly and getting by in fights using his environment, but also his
Hmm.
very legit martial arts skill, and John Cena being a big boy throwing everyone around. I had a blast with this. If you haven't seen Hidden Strike, it's on Netflix. If it was on the cinema, I think I'd be a bit harsher. I don't know,
Hmm.
but I just had a good time with this one. And I started recommending, hey, go watch this. It's a fun time. So I'm recommending to you all go watch Hidden Strike
Hidden
on Netflix.
Strike, it's called.
Hidden Strike. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
one of
because I've
those
seen
titles
it.
where it's one of those titles like very 80s 90s action film, like Van Damme movies, where it's like, oh, you titled this film after this one sequence, everything else has nothing to do with the title.
Oh, cool. It's not even available
Yeah.
here in Australia on Netflix. Cool. That
Ah,
sucks.
fun. um that's stupid.
Fucking hell. Where it says it's on Netflix, but I just looked it up on Netflix and it's not there.
Huh, that's strange. Maybe it's
Fascinating.
a different name there.
Maybe.
Yeah, could be. On top of that, I'm going to have Strays. Like Patrick said, this is ludicrous, this is over the top, this is screwed, this is raunchy, can even be obnoxious, and it is absolutely audacious. 2023 with Joyride, with No Hard Feelings, with this, and I think I'm forgetting another one. Raunchy comedies are truly back. This is a blast. I had such a fun time with this film. Laugh a minute. It's a riot. And there are some jokes in here that I was hurting. I was crying because I was laughing so hard. Patrick mentioned Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball. That's one. Another one is
Mhm.
a certain celebrity that shows up, and
Yes.
it's the most random shit you can think of, and then what they say and what they do is the most random shit you
And the
can think
biggest
of,
fourth wall break imaginable.
and the biggest fourth wall break imaginable. And my favorite though is it was so good. There's a moment in the film that involves a Labrador, voiced by someone who has who by voicing this character is a reference to a previous work of theirs. and they're doing kind of they're ribbing on that, and the punchline to this moment, to this joke, is brilliant. It works on so many ways. It's fantastic.
Is it
Again, go watch. I don't
okay,
want
I'm
to say
just
who
gonna
the actor
say
is,
I won't say who
but
the actor is, but Cop Dog.
no. It's the Labrador at the fair.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
That had my audience completely stunned. Like, we could not have been laughing more
yeah.
regarding that. That was
It
something.
it has that mix of cringe humor, shock humor, and like you're laughing. You have this moment of, very similar to the mushroom sequence. You have this moment of absolute elation and joy, and then in a nanosecond it changes to horror, and that's the best experience a movie can give you. Ups and downs of running through several different emotions. Go watch Strays, please. Go watch Strays.
It's so
On top of
funny.
that, it's so funny. On top of that, I have Blue Beetle. This film is a delight.
Mhm.
It is so much fun. It is really, really, really good. It falters in a few places, and because of that, it isn't great. But the stuff that works in this film is amazing. It does what it does so well. And where it falters is a bit of the script. It's not the direction, it's not the visuals. My God, the score is fantastic. The guy who usually does scores for Ari Aster, the guy who usually does cinematography for Ari Aster, they worked on this film. They did the score and did the cinematography for this film, which is insane. Go watch Blue Beetle. It's really good. If there's one DC movie in this year that you support, I might say this about Aquaman 2, but right now I'll say it about Blue Beetle. Easily the best movie they put out this year so far. And a number one, I've been listening to the recordings, to the album on my phone all week. And today I was like, I'm going to watch the movie version. And so today I rewatched Les Miserables, 2012's Les Miserables,
Uh,
with Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe. This film is fucking fantastic. I get that Tom Hooper is a horrible human being, but man, the guy can direct. He's a
unless it's
brilliant,
cats.
unless it's cats, yeah. But he also did.
He did
What's the other one?
the one with I, the
Tom
judge.
Hooper.
Was it
Did
the
he do
judge?
the judge? No, he didn't do the what? You are shocking me, Patrick. You are
No,
shocking me.
never mind.
He
It's
did the
not the
Danish
judge.
Girl and the King's Speech. So
I was thinking of
caliber.
the King's Speech. My fucking
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, the King's Speech, which might be even better than Les Mis. This
The
film is
Danish Girl's
spectacular.
also incredible.
It's very, very good. Les Mis is spectacular. It's grand. It's epic. It's emotional. It's I love this movie. And my number one bucket list item is to go see the play, the musical itself on stage. So yeah, that is my number one. All right. With that out of the way, let's get into your weekly rankings, starting with Nathan Madigan, a good friend of the show. Let me just zoom this in. Number 5, Super Mario Brothers movie. Number 4, A Good Person. Number 3, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. One of the most underrated movies of the year, if you haven't seen it. Number 2, Martin Scorsese's After Hours, which I haven't seen yet. And number 1, Charade. If you mean the Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn movie, that's a deep cut, and I love it because that movie is great. That's such a great movie from a time gone by. I wish this is a movie like could do with a remake. Honestly, I know that's a hot take, but yeah, do one of that. Devin Scott, number 10, Justice League, number 9, Black Adam, number 8, My Adventures with Superman, 7, Harley Quinn. Still need to start season 4. Number 6, Superman the Animated Series. Yeah. Number 5, Batman the Animated Series. Shazam in front of Batman the Animated Series, my friend.
That's
I
bold.
gotta disagree.
I like Shazam, but I wouldn't put it. I would not put it in front of the animated series, even if I do like Shazam.
Yeah. Number 3, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Number 2, Man of Steel. Number 1, BVS. You know, I would change the number 1 and 2 immediately, personally. But that's a good list. I like most of the stuff in there.
Hang on, is it
Shazam?
Is it BVS the Ultimate
Batman
cut?
vs. I don't know.
Because I like the BVS Ultimate cut. I don't like the theatrical.
I like both. I don't think the Ultimate Cut is that much better, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. I think it
Okay.
adds a lot of stuff in without cutting stuff out. Just overstuffs it. Weekly ranking in a feminist
Mood.
mood. Okay. Number 5, Jennifer's Body. Number 4, Always Shine. Number 3, Single White Female. Number 2, A Simple Favor. And number 1, Last Night in Soho. Great movie, underrated movie. I've been meaning to rewatch that one as well. I didn't have popcorn yesterday, so I'm going to have popcorn today. So I might make that my rewatch.
A Simple Favor did a lot of things to teenage Patrick at the time. Seeing Blake Lively in a suit, that was
Well, yeah, I'm not going to blame teenage Patrick for that. All right, everyone. With that out of the way, Blue Beetle is out in theaters. This is a movie that, let's face it, it's based on a superhero nobody knows. Nobody really cares for in the wide general audience. It's also a movie that started out as a movie that was going to streaming. But much like Evil Dead Rise earlier this week, it got upgraded to going to the theaters. David Zaslav, for all the shit he's done, saw this movie and went, no, this is good enough. Let's put it in theaters. And obviously, we can't talk spoilers because the movie just came out. Patrick doesn't even have a chance to see it yet because Australia only gets it like 3 weeks from now.
September 17th.
September 17th. Yikes. A month from now, basically, yeah. So,
yeah.
Very vaguely speaking, this film is a major win. And because of all those elements, it had a very steep uphill hill to climb. And it's probably still going to flop very hard. It might become their biggest flop, even bigger than Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Though that's a challenge because it doesn't have that much of a budget itself. It's a movie that no one cared for. It's a movie that DC didn't put their backs into. As much as David Zaslav went, no, in theaters instead of streaming, DC, James Gunn, Peter Safran, they have not been working as hard to promote and market this movie as they did The Flash. The Flash, which is a marquee name. Shazam, who is not quite a marquee name, but he became much more well-known because he already had a movie previously. Also, they've been building and building flop after flop after flop. The DC brand is in shatters. Like we talked about last week, this is a brand right now that doesn't have the audience's interest, doesn't have the audience's trust, is not engaged whatsoever with their supposed audience. And yet Blue Beetle has tapped into something really special. And I think all this good word of mouth is going to do wonders for its box office potential. I don't think it's going to transform it. I don't think it's going to turn the tide. But what Blue Beetle does for its quality, for its focus on character, where this is a movie that doesn't worry at all about the forbidden M word these days with multiverse, doesn't worry at all about the rest of the DC universe, and just tells this smaller scale, more intimate story about a kid coming of age, and coming of age for him in this case is becoming a superhero. And it is absolutely wonderful. This film is it's a joy to watch and finally brings focus to a character. It strips down of everything else that has been burdening the DC movies and, to many people's arguments, a lot of superhero movies in general. Patrick, you have not seen Blue Beetle, but what in general have been your thoughts watching the reactions that it has been getting from people around the world?
Over the moon. I actually like the Blue Beetle character quite a bit. And I'm glad that this adaptation has been satisfying both fans of the comics, those who aren't fans of the comics, and those are part of the Latino community. That like this is a movie for them. And it has really been something special to see them get a superhero representing them. And I also feel that it will also bring a lot of light to people who aren't aware of the Blue Beetle character. I think you and I have discussed this in a previous podcast, but the only way that you'd really know a Blue Beetle is if you're a fan of the comics or if you've played the Injustice games.
Or if
And
you
a
watched
lot
Young
of,
Justice, which
or
not
if
a
you
lot of
watch
people
Young
did.
Justice. I know him from all of these personally. I
Yeah.
loved the Injustice game. I love Young Justice, and I also read the comics. I think Blue Beetle is one of the more unique what is it, superheroes, especially in the DC universe. People being like, oh, he's just a bad man. What is it? He's a sad boy's Iron Man in the DC universe. I'm like, no, he's fucking not. Like, he's literally got this device that is a part of him that gives him the ability to create anything he can fucking think of, essentially, almost like it's a Green Lantern power ring, but so much fucking cooler. And not to mention the suit.
Remember that you made that comparison when you watched the movie. That's all.
Sorry?
Remember that you made that comparison when you watched the movie.
Oh, I didn't make that comparison. I've seen other people make that comparison.
Still, just remember when you watched the movie that connection. Then.
Okay. But like, I just, as a fan of the comics, as a fan of, you know, seeing the Buster Sword and the fucking what is it, the trailer, I'm like, I'm a big Final Fantasy guy. Seeing the Buster Sword in the first trailer, I was like, oh no.
You will catch a lot of anime references, not only from Jaime, who at points is reading something, but the director himself was very influenced by anime. You can see that not only when he pulls out the Buster Sword, and they don't like explicitly call it, oh, make me a Buster Sword or anything like that. Like, they don't call out anything, but you can tell through the visuals, through the aesthetics, the action in general, and the fantastic choreography in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
All very anime inspired, very frantic, very over the top in like, not over the top in the sense of Jackie Chan over the top, but over the top in the sense of the impact and the violence of each blow and all that. It's really cool.
It almost has that impact, and you feel the blow, not in the sense of Jackie Chan, but in regards to overall intensity more than anything else, and just the strike 100%. Is powerful. Which the scarab obviously gives him that extra strength, and the suit is compacted in some way. Which, by the way, that practical suit still looks fucking awesome just from the trailers alone.
It looks so good.
I'm glad that they kept it practical rather than CGing over it like they did with Prey, with the Predator suit that they had. Which, by the way, Prey's coming to Blu-ray in October.
Yes, it is,
and I'm very happy about that. I loved Prey so much. It was one of my top 5 favorite movies of last year. But no, like, seeing this support, seeing this love, and all the people that were like, oh, it's going to flop. This movie has more than doubled its weekend projection.
Has it? I had not seen that. That's awesome.
Because it was aiming for like a 10 million, and it got like 10 million opening night alone.
Okay, that's cool. Because last I saw, it was aiming for a $17 million opening weekend.
Yeah, Blue Beetle box office. I'll quickly look that up. But apparently, like, opening night, it got like fucking 10 million or something.
That's cool.
I saw on Twitter. Yeah, here you go. 10 million opening day.
Opening day.
Meaning,
awesome.
By the end of the weekend, it will have probably more than tripled that. Meaning,
hopefully, I mean, for all we know, we made $100 in the next few days. But
yeah, exactly. And from how little theaters are selling out, it's a major disappointment. But you know, I'm not surprised considering the marketing for this movie has been fucking awful.
Yeah, that first trailer did no favors. I didn't watch the second one, but the first trailer was very
The first trailer was very but it upped my excitement, and then the second trailer was even better. And you know, there's a lot of ruined jokes I feel in the trailer in regards to, like, the grandmother wielding the fucking minigun, which it
works amazing in the movie.
Well, I just wish that I didn't see that in the trailer. That would have been such a funny thing to see in the movie.
I'm glad I didn't see it because I had no idea what was coming. But having seen the trailer when I went back to edit my review, you don't see like the proper, like, the joke is not grandma picking it up. That's the setup, and then there's a joke in there that it's actually really funny.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people just doing nitpicky sort of responses to the movie, which is really pissing me off. Like, oh, they never explain how Batman's a fascist. And I'm like, it's a throwaway fucking joke, you numbskulls. It's a joke, which also, to a certain degree, isn't inaccurate, by the way, for who the character of Batman fucking is. It's not entirely inaccurate, but
Yeah,
you've obviously got to have those crybabies, and the only people I've really seen that are complaining are like the Nerdist and Geeks and Gamers, of fucking course.
yeah.
Which
People who
I
don't
really,
deserve attention.
no, I really wish they'd fuck off from my Twitter timeline. I really do. But I keep seeing their posts popping up, even though I'm not following them, because I have mutuals that are following them, and I don't know why. But I just think the support this movie is fucking getting is phenomenal, and the fact that it broke its weekend projection of 10 million on opening day is big. Like, it might be the lowest opening day for a DC movie, but at the same time, considering it was projected to only earn 10 million in its 3-day weekend, and it earned that opening day, is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in only the US.
Yeah, that's only the US. I think it could do. I think it could do well internationally, and I'm not just speaking like Latin American countries. I'm speaking generally internationally. Now, there is one thing that I was having a conversation the other day, because you, me, like everyone, one of the things going against this film, perhaps the number one thing going against this film to make good money, is that nobody knows this character. Nobody cares this character, like we were talking about. So there's a very few select people who have watched the Injustice. There's a few select people who play Injustice Gods and Monsters.
Gods Among Us.
And even Gods Among Us. And there's even fewer people who read the comic books, sadly. More people should read comic books.
Read the Blue Beetle line, seriously, it's so good.
But could the fact that nobody knows this superhero actually be the thing that gets people into the theaters? Because yes, it's DC, and people will still see the DC brand, which they don't trust right now. But they saw Shazam, they didn't care for Shazam. They saw Flash, and for an entire generation, this is not Flash. Flash is the one I've been watching on TV for 9 years at this point. And they didn't care.
Wonder Woman, 1984. No one.
Well, but that also came in the peak of the pandemic.
But I'm also talking about like the reception the movie got from both critics and audiences,
which was way too harsh. I think that movie is underrated. I don't love it or anything, but I think that movie is underrated because of how
I don't hate it. I just thought it was a lot of wasted opportunity and potential for what could have been, as opposed to like, oh, this movie's fucking dog shit. Like, no, I think it's low tier DCEU, but it has a lot of wasted opportunity potential.
Yeah, I agree. I still think it is a fun time though, especially Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord.
Yeah,
he's
great. He's very good.
But yeah, do you think though that the fact that this guy isn't known could actually be the thing that, oh, I don't know that superhero, let's go watch that movie, and could be the thing that helps it not turn the tide around, but actually build some momentum off its back? No pun intended.
I'll compare it to one movie in particular. And yes, people knew of this comic book character, but it was at a time where comic book movies were still considered terrible. And like just a good comic book movie was unheard of. I'm going to talk about Iron Man. Iron Man
comparison
may have been a very well-known comic book character, but at the same time was not as popular as he was after that movie came out. And not only that, when you look at the time that it came out in 2008, we had the Incredible Hulk, 2 months after, which I like the Incredible Hulk. I really like that movie.
I like the Incredible Hulk.
I really like that movie, but it definitely feels like it was still stuck in the time of the early X-Men movies and like Daredevil and like Elektra, where comic book movies just weren't great. And not to mention, we did have a live action adaptation of Thor in Iron Man in a terrible TV series of the 90s.
How dare you? The Iron Man animated series is really good.
Well, no, I'm talking live action. I'm talking live action. There was like a live action iteration, I believe, of Iron Man back in like the 90s. Live action Iron Man.
What the fuck?
1978.
How do I not know about this? What?
Yep.
What?
It was from a really bad, like, Avengers thing where it even featured the original actor. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but played the Hulk.
Lou Ferrigno?
That's
Oh, I
it.
know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
And
Okay,
in
okay, okay, okay.
1978, this, if I can present it, was our Iron Man.
Yeah, the tube.
The
The
tube.
tube, man.
So
Yeah.
this was still at the time a sour taste in people's mouths. This was our version of the Avengers at the time, which, what the fuck? So
I will say
Iron Man,
this: Thor doesn't look like Thor, but he doesn't look bad.
no, and I'll say Captain America looks like a stunt driver at a motocross show.
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno still looks
Who
good.
painted himself like that because Captain America is popular.
Yeah. But again, like, it had a sour taste in people's mouths, especially those who grew up with the Iron Man comics, but were, subjected to the 78 movie or show, whatever the hell it was. It was in a similar era to that terrible, terrible Fantastic Four movies, but the 90s Fantastic Four movie, which, if you've ever seen that, treat yourself. That shit's hilarious.
It is really funny.
I'm actually a defender of Rise of Silver Surfer, admittedly, though. I actually like that movie. I think it's
I
dumb
enjoy
and it's
watching
silly,
it.
but it's a fun movie, and it definitely feels like a Fantastic Four comic. It's just not a good movie, but it feels like a comic book. But Blue Beetle, compared to Iron Man at the time, Iron Man was definitely more popular than what Blue Beetle is. But you've also got to remember the time that Iron Man came out with what comic book movies were. And because of word of mouth and also reception and how that movie performed, we've now got a massive cinematic universe that spawned off of that movie's success and got better and better. And in my opinion, has then declined. But it's a little bit up and down for me personally. Like, it has those spikes and then it has those dips. But we wouldn't be where we are in regards to comic book movies without Iron Man. Maybe in regards to the new DCU, Blue Beetle could be that for DC and the future of, DC comic book to movie adaptations and even TV shows. Who knows? We might even get a, DC Plus streaming service one day.
DC Plus.
Where it's just a bunch of DCU spin-off shows with all these straight-to-streaming movies, similar to what Blue Beetle was meant to be. Fuck it off from Max, bring it over to DC Plus, similar to what Disney Plus is.
DC Max will be the
DC
name of the
Max. There we go, DC Max. Hey, get your subscription to Max today, and you can also get 1 month free of DC Max. But I feel like Blue Beetle can be that. And if I look at the opening weekend for Iron Man really quickly, I don't think that was very high.
I have no idea. You could tell me it was. You could tell me it wasn't. I would believe you.
So the box office overall was $585 million, which was pretty big for the time. But if I go to opening weekend, opening day, that movie only earned $3 million.
I mean, that was a different time, but still,
that's low even for then.
Yeah.
Even for then, that is really low, considering 2008 was like a really big year for blockbuster movies that were earning $10, $15 million weekends. So
Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, The Dark Knight.
Yeah. So day one, on the first day, it earned $3.5 million, to then immediately have word of mouth give it such good reception that it got another 30 million over the course of the weekend, apparently, from good word of mouth.
Okay.
So yeah,
do you remember what other blockbusters came out? Because I was looking it up.
Transformers.
Don't go look. Don't go look. Don't go look. Because I'll tell you. Hancock. 2008 blockbusters, man. Hancock. Wall-E. Kung Fu Panda.
Yep.
Tropic
Dark
Thunder.
Knight.
The Dark Knight, yeah. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. The
Indiana
Chronicles
Jones
of
and the
Narnia.
Kingdom
Prince
of the
Caspian.
Crystal.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. The Mummy, The Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. The less said about that one quality-wise, the better. But
Wanted. Wanted came out that year, didn't it?
Wanted. I think Wanted was 2007.
Was it?
I believe so.
Oh, I just brought up a list. Well, I just brought up a list, and yeah, apparently Wanted was 2008. You had Madagascar
okay.
2. You had Twilight. You
The
had
worst of them.
Quantum of Solace.
Yeah. Yeah,
Beverly
2008
Hills
was
Chihuahua.
a big year.
The original Cloverfield.
Oh yeah, I thought that was
Hellboy 2,
as well.
The Golden Army.
The Army, yeah, really good.
Great movies.
Yeah, not to get off topic,
but very underrated, by the way. Spiderwick Chronicles, very underrated. If you've never seen it, please, 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 please check it out.
Not to get off topic, but yeah, that was a fun summer. That was a
good summer.
Yeah.
Oh, Bolt, by the way, as a last one. Bolt.
Oh,
Bolt really is a damn good fucking movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's hope everything works out, Blue Beetle. I think Blue Beetle's real life story, like as a movie, is fantastic. Whether it ends up flopping, which most likely will, or not, the story that it tells, the doors that it opens for the future, the changing of direction in tone, in scope, in size, all works for the better. And I hope it begins to take VC on this other track, on this other direction that is much more favorable for its future. Now let's hope my boy Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom can bring it home by the end of the year.
That's right. Sharknado got re-released in theaters this week too.
Too early. They should have re-released it with Aquaman.
No, it was the 10-year anniversary with reimagined and remastered visual effects, where they literally had a Barbie poster in the style of Sharknado to advertise it. And I'm like,
oh no.
I'm so sad it didn't get released in Australian theaters as a re-release.
Didn't get released over here either. So that makes it
got released in the US on the 15th and 16th.
Yeah. All right, everyone. And with that out of the way, we're going to move to your questions. Remember that we cannot guarantee that they are all answered when you leave them on the community post on the community tab, but we'll do our best. And we're starting off with Andrew Seif. Me and my fiance recently got a Nintendo Switch, and we have obsessed and playing Mario Party nonstop. Do any of you have any fond memories or funny stories playing it? I have never played Mario Party in my life. So yeah, unfortunately, no, but I am very jealous. And I love stories like this, that you and your fiance got a Switch and you've been playing nonstop together and having fun together. You are creating memories for yourselves. That is awesome. Patrick, take it away.
Only about a month and a half to 2 months ago, I brought my Switch over to my mate's house, and there was like 8 of us, and we had a Nintendo Switch night where we played Mario Party and Mario Kart. But at the same time, we all took a bunch of gummies. So
that's
seeing
a fun night.
The colorful game that is Super Mario Party, trying to do the mini games was just the most chaotic thing. Playing Mario Kart, I was driving at one point. I'm like, why am I not going anywhere? And my mate just turns to me and is like, you're driving into a fucking wall, because I was so off my chockers. Because they were little Sour Patch Kids that had been soaked in THC. And it was an immediate hit too. Like less than 20 minutes later, I couldn't walk. So I was sitting there slumped on the couch with my Joy-Con like this, trying to like fucking pay attention. And it just made for a very funny, very chaotic night. I got the munchies and I later ordered 2 burgers without bread. So it was just patties. And it was the greasiest. It was just the greasiest thing I've ever eaten in my life. But when you get the munchies, you don't fucking care.
Yeah, you can't think of anything else besides the munchies. All right, Andrew Seif, with the release of Blue Beetle, how would you rank the comic book movies so far this year? I'm not going to do it because I will have a video about it at the end of the year when Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom comes out. Aquaman and The Lost Kingdom.
And the Marvels.
And the Marvels, yeah, of course. What do you got? Do you want to rank them?
I haven't seen Blue Beetle yet, so.
But without Blue Beetle, do you want to rank them?
Oh God, what comic book movies have even come out this year?
You got Spider-Verse, you got Guardians 3, you got Flash, Shazam, and Quantumania, and Mutant Mayhem.
Oh, brother. I haven't seen Mutant Mayhem. We don't get that till the same weekend as The Nun.
No.
Which, by the way, I just received my invite for The Nun 2, and it's in a Screen X, which makes me want to cry.
Oh no. Oh
So
no,
it's
that's
got the
awful.
2 screens on the side too, and I'm like,
Yeah.
great.
That's gotta be so distracting. I hate Screen X.
I hate Screen X too, but I'm still gonna go. I'm just gonna try and focus on that one screen. But how I'd rank them: worst, Shazam: Fury of the Gods,
Yes.
Quantumania, Flash, Spider-Verse, Guardians.
All right. All righty. Andrew Seif also asks, how would you rank the billion-dollar films post-COVID? I would go Top Gun Maverick, Barbie, Spider-Man No Way Home, Avatar, Super Mario Bros., and Jurassic World Dominion.
Let me 7 highest grossing movies that came out after the pandemic. I need to find this list so I can actually remember what even came out. So let's see.
It's just the ones that joined the billion-dollar club. So it's
Yeah,
Top
yeah, yeah.
Gun, it's Barbie, it's Spider-Man, it's Avatar: The Way of Water, Super Mario, and Jurassic World. Like that's literally just.
Oh, Jurassic World is easily the worst.
Yeah.
What were the other ones?
Super Mario Bros., Way of Water, Barbie, No Way Home, and Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but after the thing is, I don't hate any of the movies after what is
Jurassic World Dominion.
Dominion. So I'm gonna put Avatar: The Way of Water after Jurassic World.
Ooh.
Sorry, I'm not an Avatar fan. I don't like those movies. I find them quite boring and pretentious. I think they're mastercrafts of filmmaking, but I just don't think they're very well written at all. I think their scripts are horrid. Like awful. James Gunn needs to hire a writer. Not James Gunn, James Cameron, sorry. After that, I'd go Barbie, No Way Home. What are the other ones?
Super Mario Bros. And Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, Mario, then Top Gun Maverick's the best, easily, without a doubt.
At least we can agree on that.
I'm sorry. I'm a big Mario fan, so I obviously have a slight bias, especially when it is a faithful adaptation, and I had fun with it. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I don't think it has a story that is a lot better than people made it out to be. It's just rushed.
All right. Yeah. Andrew Seif also asks, there are rumors right now that the WGA strike might end in September and the SAG might end in mid to late October. If this is true and actors are able to promote their movies, do you think films like Dune Part 2, Marvel's Wonka, and Aquaman 2 are safe from being pushed to next year?
No.
I think they're all safe from being pushed to next year regardless. I think they have much more to lose if they're pushed than if they stay right where they are. I can't speak to how those rumors contribute to that because I have not heard of those rumors, so I don't know. I'm not doubting you, but I don't know like where they're coming from. So yeah, right now I think all of those right now stay where they are and they don't go away. And I highly doubt that it happens. I highly doubt there are even rumors suggesting that the writer's strike might end earlier than the SAG strike. So yeah,
the SAG strike will probably end mid to late October, and then the writer's strike probably not until December at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately. Let's hope we're all wrong, though.
I hope it ends like next week because these people deserve to be paid.
I hope it ends tomorrow.
I do too. Especially with some information I know about a few movies, but they can't go into develop them even with certain movie performances. Like I'll say this. Spiral 2 is imminent if Saw 10 performs well.
I hope Saw 10 flops.
Jigsaw 2 is also imminent if Saw 10 does well because a script is already written, but they can't do anything unless the strike ends. And there's also apparently a different sequel picking up right where Saw 3D left off. That is rumored.
Curiously enough, I'm more interested in that one than any of the other ones. So
I'm not, but for me personally, I think they're all safe, aside from one.
Ooh.
Aquaman 2 gets pushed back, and that's because of the recent rewrites, rewrites and reshoots that were done just before the strike started. Yeah. And obviously, they can't do the work to do any more, which they want to do more, apparently, according to recent test screenings, but they can't do them because of the strike. Yeah. And because of that, Aquaman 2 is going to get pushed. I do not see this movie releasing this year. I don't see it releasing until maybe third quarter of 2024. I don't see this movie coming out any fucking time soon. And I think a lot of people can understand why, even yourself, Ren. I'm excited for the movie just as you are. I loved the
Yeah.
first Aquaman. I thought that was a great movie. But I do know some things, and some people have said some stuff about the current state of that movie. And apparently James Wan has just stopped caring.
And I don't
And I
blame him.
don't blame him. I don't.
Yeah.
This movie is apparently an utter fucking mess with the current state, even after the
And not
recent
because the
reshoots.
movie was actually bad, but because they kept tinkering it so it wouldn't keep going with the DCU continuity.
Apparently, the first version of the movie was fine. Apparently, the first cut was fine, but because they're
But it
tinkering
had
with
too
it,
many
so it's-
DCU references, Patrick.
Yep. So they had to alter it. They had to rewrite. They had
So
to
they
reshoot.
sabotage
Now
their own movie.
Exactly. It's now gone through what 3 or 4 lots of reshoots, and it's still a
rewrites.
mess. And rewrites, and it's still an utter mess. And I don't blame James Wan for being over it. And I think he just wants to move on to landing a deal to make that Dead Space movie, because he is the one in the running to do the Dead Space adaptation. And I am happy with that.
Hope so. Lady Aaron, how is it knowing that Blue Beetle starred as a movie that none of us were excited about and ended up being one of the biggest surprises of the year? Well, essentially, we talked about it on our main topic, and I talked about it on my review, and we've talked about it all week. So, yeah, that's how it feels. Feels good. Lady Aaron, Ren, since you're going to the film festival very soon, who are you hoping to meet in person while you're there? I don't know. I know Damien Chazelle is going to be there, but I don't even know if I have the opportunity to meet him. But
meet Tobin Bell.
Is he going to be there? If he's there, yeah. I hope I meet him. But yeah,
I don't think he's going to be there. I don't even know what's happening in regards to a lot of, like, it's not just Saw 10, but a lot of movies regarding premieres right now. I just don't think that's fucking happening. And I'm surprised that even these film festivals are even premiering their movies with actors, directors, and writers in attendance. Like, I'm very surprised.
They got special deals and all that. So Adam Driver's gonna be there, I guess. So Adam Driver is.
Oh, that would be so cool. I'm still mad at you for getting to meet Edgar Wright, and I couldn't. I'm still mad at you for that.
I haven't met him since, if it makes you feel any better.
Well, you still got to meet him. He's my favorite director of all time. Like,
it was a great moment.
Yeah.
It was one of those, like, I can't pass this opportunity. He's literally sitting behind.
Is he a nice guy? I think we've spoken about this. He's a nice guy, isn't he? Yeah.
Very brief, because I didn't want to bother him too much.
No, of course.
Super nice.
They're just people too. So bothering them, like, is just, it's literally brief introduction. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. Lady Aaron, what are some of your favorite manpower ballad songs in movies, if you have any? I'm Just Ken is one. What's the name? Lost in the Woods in Frozen 2 is fantastic. One of the
That's
reasons,
a great one. That's a really
one of the
good
many reasons Frozen 2 is better than the first Frozen.
Beast, from Beauty and the Beast remake, his ballad, when Belle.
Evermore. Yes.
Oh my God, what a wonderful fucking song! I don't love the remake, but that song. And Dan Stevens, is it?
Dan Stevens,
yeah. Dude, his vocals in that scene were just raw and passionate. And look, I know there's autotune. As a musician, I can hear the blatant autotune throughout the entirety of that movie, and it's very distracting. But man, you can tell there's a lot of raw passion and emotion behind those vocals.
But as a musician, you can also hear a lot of autotune in a lot of places where most people don't hear it, and they're like, "Oh,
that's exactly right."
And they're like, "It is autotune."
I'm going to be honest. The first time I watched that movie, because I wasn't properly doing my music studies at school, it was only when we started doing, sound mixing and auto-tune studies and all that sort of stuff and studio recordings at school through music tech classes that I started to notice the auto-tune in the Beauty and the Beast remake, and that movie's officially been ruined forever for me because of it. But and a lot of movies, as a matter of fact. But that fucking song is so good. There's also what's his fucking name? I'm gonna say "Be a Man." I'll Make a Man Out of You from the original Mulan. That song isn't let's say
I don't know that
it
counts as a ballad.
I feel like it does for an army, though.
Okay, fair enough. I'll grant you that. Yeah.
What's another one though? There's
the one in Little Mermaid, the live action one, is pretty good for Prince Eric.
Actually, I
Um,
didn't mind that remake. I never spoke about it openly, but I actually quite enjoyed it.
it's better than the original.
I
Um,
disagree high and true, but that's just me. I can't listen to Scuttlebutt without wanting to bleach my eardrums.
oh no! Completely take Scuttlebutt out. But I believe in the romance in the live action one, which is more than
Uh,
I can say for the animated classic.
yeah, yeah, and I'll even say that about Cinderella. What is it? The
Oh,
remake with Lily
Cinderella
James
is
is so
yeah,
much better than the
much
original.
better,
So much
much
fucking
better.
better.
But that's like miles away. Like where the original Cinderella, I don't know if this is a hot take, is not a good movie. So,
It's not a good movie. I don't like the original Cinderella at all.
yeah,
I love the
not good.
remake, however.
Yeah, it's really. You know what? It's Last Night in Soho, Solo, or now Cinderella. Those are like three movies I have the itch to rewatch.
Yeah,
Um,
and plus Lily
Nathan
James
Madigan.
is just the perfect eye candy for that movie, personally.
I mean, yeah, it's Lily James. I'm gonna watch everything
Exactly.
she's in. Um, Nathan Madigan. This week we got our first look at Bradley Cooper's next directorial effort, Maestro. Have you seen the trailer? I have not.
I'm
I
not.
downloaded the trailer because I'm going to be watching it at Venice. It's on Leonard Bernstein. It's him and Michelle Williams. It's a very small teaser trailer from what I saw, like
Oh,
the
Carrie
length of
Mulligan.
the video. Carrie
Carrie
Mulligan,
Mulligan's in it.
not who did
Maya
I say was
Hawke.
in there? I did not know she was in there. But yeah, I think it looks good from like the stills that I've seen, and it looks promising because it's Bradley Cooper. But I'm literally 2 weeks away from watching it, so I'll just wait to actually see it. Lady Aaron, yeah,
Oh, I was going to say, slightly off topic, but Carrie Mulligan is phenomenal in Shame with Michael Fassbender.
oh yeah.
She's
She's so
really,
good.
really damn good in that movie.
That movie
And
is fantastic.
she's also great as Sally Sparrow from Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I wish she was a
that's true.
companion.
Sally
I wish she
Sparrow.
became a companion.
Too big. Lady Aaron, thoughts on the latest Pokemon DLC news that we got on hang on.
Huh?
I'm taking someone
What the
out of
fuck?
the live chat. Jesus fucking Christ. Thoughts on the latest Pokemon
Why?
DLC that we got on what's to come in the Indigo Disc, which all of the starter Pokemon of past regions will be coming back and can be caught in a wild. Yeah, it's great. It's finally like it makes a fuck ton of sense. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that it is not just a natural thing to happen. And we'll finally be able to catch them as Ash did in the anime, just starters in the wild. That's fantastic. I love it. Should have done it earlier. Should just be a natural state of the games. I don't think you should, like, if you're playing a game from Paldea, I don't think you should be able to catch any of the starters of Paldea in the wild, but I think you should always be able to find like starters from previous regions. That would be fun. So yeah. Patrick, do you have any thoughts? Are you playing Scarlet or Violet, or will you be playing any of the DLC?
I haven't been a Pokemon fan since like the DS days back in the 2000s. Admittedly, I haven't played a Pokemon game in well over 10 years.
I will make you play them.
I mean, I'm happy to as soon as Scarlet and Violet gets above a 30 FPS frame lock and gets patched.
I'm
not a frame snob.
I'm
not a frame snob, but
honestly.
I've seen gameplay for the 30 FPS and it actually hurts my eyes.
I've seen a ton of very buggy gameplay, but I personally never had a problem.
Oh, okay. I'm just, if I'm going to be playing on an OLED screen, I've kind of got to, have that 60 FPS.
That's fair.
Otherwise, it does
hurt. Lady Aaron, so Ren, there's a new course coming to Mario Kart later this week called Madrid Drive. Thoughts on Madrid Drive getting the Mario Kart treatment, and if you've searched up which cities got the Mario Kart treatment, do you have any favorites? I have no thoughts. I don't care, honestly. I haven't picked up Mario Kart in ages. Yeah, no, I have no thoughts, honestly. Patrick?
Have fun paying another $9 for your single fucking track in the DLC pack when you can just download an emulator and get it for free.
Yeah, I'm not paying shit. I probably wouldn't get it if it was free, so I'm definitely not paying shit. Lady Aaron, what are some video games that you have surprisingly never played before, and of your choices, do you hope to one day try playing them?
Dying Light, the original Dying Light.
Any of the Metal Gear Solids, or any of the Metal Gears, because I know they have different names.
Stop at Metal Gear 3. It's fine if you just stop there.
But they're not my type of game at all whatsoever. Like any Call of Duty, any soccer game, any basketball game, any NFL game, any NHL game, like sports games except WWE, have not played them. What else? Other surprising games. I still haven't played Pokemon Legends Arceus. That's the one I don't even have it because it's still so fucking expensive. Yeah, those are a few of the ones. Do you have any others?
Amnesia, the what is it? The Bunker I meant to play, but I just haven't yet. Same as the new Layers of Fear game. Even though I love these series, I haven't gotten around to it. Yeah. Life is Strange 2. I played the first chapter and I just never returned to it. I have
not played the first one either.
Well, I've played the first one and also its companion spin-off, what is it, Beyond the Storm, and I've played True Colors, but I've never played Life is Strange 2. I love the Life is Strange games so much. They're so good. But I just never got around to finishing Life is Strange 2 after the first episode. So I'll have to return to that eventually, but I wasn't a fan of what I played. But the first one, bro, I cried my eyes out. That game broke me emotionally. Such a good game.
All right. Lady Aaron, we've gotten some more new trailers recently, including Maestro. What are your thoughts on some of the new movie trailers that we've gotten? Give me a list. Like, I don't remember what we've gotten recently off the top of my head, so you have to give me a list for me to give you some thoughts.
God, what new trailers have come out for the rest of the year? Wonka, I thought looked terrible.
I like the trailer for Wonka.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's not for me personally. I'll still see the movie, but the creator looks great. Gran Turismo, based on a true story. Well, I'm tired of seeing that trailer, especially after seeing the movie and liking it quite substantially. God,
it's already out here, so we're not seeing the trailer anymore.
Oh, I'm still seeing the trailer, and it's out here. Let me go through the upcoming releases for new for movies, and if I can sort of jog my memory for new releases. Oh, the Equalizer looks fantastic. Equalizer 3.
It looks really good, and I really do not like the second one, but I'm very excited for 3.
No, I love the first one though.
Yeah.
The Exorcist Believer looks terrible. Five Nights at Freddy's is way too long for its own good, being 3 hours apparently.
I was watching that trailer and I'm like, there is no way this is 3 hours. There is no way this is 3 hours.
That's apparently its final runtime, and I'm sitting.
No, I've seen it too. I'm just saying, like, it's unbelievable to me. Like, that is not a 3-hour movie. Like,
it's unbelievable enough that it's gonna be as long as Oppenheimer.
That's going to be 90 minutes of fluff. And I'm being generous. I don't even know what you put there that's fluff. So, yeah.
The trailer for Napoleon is incredible.
Oh, it looks so good.
I'm so excited for Napoleon.
That's the one trailer they played ahead of Gran Turismo.
There really aren't new trailers though for upcoming movies because there's not that many new movies that come out this year. Expendables 4, Saw 10, the creator looks insanely good. But there's no really new trailers. Like, yeah.
All right, Lady Aaron, thoughts on the controversy of Bradley Cooper using a prosthetic nose in Maestro? Do you agree with me in saying that this is one of the stupid movie controversies in memory? And also, what are some of the stupidest movie controversies you've ever heard? I have no idea what we're talking about. I have no idea of a supposed controversy. So I can't agree or disagree because I don't know what it is about. The stupidest controversy in recent memory is the assault, the bullying, the harassment of Rachel Zegler. You people who are commenting on what she said about Snow White never gave a lick of a shit, never gave a lick of a wet fart about Snow White. And now you're all fighting for a cause you don't give a shit about. So go fuck yourselves if you're attacking Rachel Zegler.
And not only that, the original movie isn't that good either. I'm going to be honest. It's not
true.
that good.
There are a lot historic, of problems. It's important, but it's not a very good movie.
It's also got a lot of things wrong with it in regards to like political fucking issues. Regarding like, oh, she's asleep, let's give her a kiss to wake her up. Oh, wait a second. But like the thing is, if people actually fucking listen to her criticisms and what she is saying, she literally said it terrified her as a kid. That was her reason to not fucking return all this time to rewatch it until landing this role. She said that. Oh, but that means she doesn't like it. So why is she playing this character? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
If you have a movie that you saw when you were a kid that terrified you and you didn't return to now, why do you give a lick of a shit now? I'm going to bring up the exact same thing. It's a double fucking standard. We've all got those movies, no matter what it fucking is. Not only that, her criticisms regarding the original movie are fucking true.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, no one gave a shit about Snow White until she started saying all this crap just because they want to hate her for quote unquote
clicks,
not being white to play Snow White. Her name is Snow White because that's her name, not because of her fucking skin color, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Like,
Lady Aaron.
It just.
Oh, wait. Did I miss any? No. Lady Aaron. What are your top 5 favorite musicals that you have watched so far, if you have a list of it? I don't. My favorite musical of all time is La La Land, and that's it, but I don't have a list in general. Do you have a favorite?
Wizard of Oz.
Nice.
I adore Wizard of Oz. I've seen it live, and I've also seen it in the movie too many times. Seeing it live was an experience. I'm going to be honest. Like, seeing that shit
I don't
live,
even think of it as a musical, but it is. It is absolutely a musical, but for some reason, thinking musicals, I don't think of it as one.
How they did the Melting Witch was really cool because they had a platform that was like circular that she stood on, and they actually had smoke dispensers that when she was melting looked like it was like coming off of her body as if she was hot and melting, and she just got lowered into the below the stage.
Oh, okay.
And they did that as well, where like when she would appear out of nowhere, it was like the smoke would appear out of the stage and she would like rise up through the smoke, and then the smoke would dissipate, and she'd use her cloak to flush the smoke out of the way to make it look like she's just appeared. It was really cool. The production value of that was awesome.
Yeah.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, by the way, is a hilarious musical if you've never seen it.
I don't even know of it. I don't think.
Australian drag queen musical.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it is super raunchy, super funny. I remember seeing that with my school as like a part of the music program live as well. And I'm surprised they allowed us because they literally have written on a van in the musical, "Suck dick, bitch."
Jeez. Okay. Nathan Madigan, as the summer movie season comes to a close, are there any key takeaways Hollywood should be aware of going forward in terms of sky-high budgets, general audience interests, and counter programming release strategies? So when it comes to counter programming, we've covered this through several weeks, speaking of Barbie and Oppenheimer, where that can very well work in the studio's favor, and they're gonna do it. I know they're gonna do it, but it's gonna be cringy. Like, don't try and become a Barbenheimer, because Barbenheimer didn't happen because the studios wanted it. It was organic. It was the people who did it. Mm-hmm. So if it is to happen again, let the people do it. Okay, studios. General audience interests. The general audience is interested in good movies. They're interested in brands, in studios, in logos that they trust. And by trust, I mean, I like the last movie they did. I'm going to watch the new one. If they keep liking it, they're going to keep going. Sky high budgets, it's easy to say because I'm not in charge of the money or anything, but stop inflating your budgets. You have to stop inflating your budgets. Please, for the love of all that is holy. Mission Impossible did not need to cost as much as it did, but Mission Impossible, a lot of it was delays during COVID, and a lot of that went into production. So that naturally is going to happen. Indiana Jones, I say the same thing, but it was also kind of in the same situation. It also
Mm-hmm.
had an 80-year-old star vehicle in the film, and that person got hurt, and that person had to go to the hospital, and
Yeah,
that
that's
person had
right.
to
He did
pause
get
for a
injured.
while because they broke. Was it his leg
The
or his shoulder this time?
I think it was his shoulder. The leg was Force
Yeah,
Force
yeah,
Awakens.
exactly. Broke his shoulder. So those are like, you have caveats on those two specific cases, but like in general, we've seen a lot of movies that have inflated budgets. Like, please stop. You can accomplish as much as you did, perhaps even make better movies without inflating your budget so much.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick, what do you got?
In regards to budget inflation.
Just in general, key takeaways Hollywood should be aware of going forward for sky high budgets, general audience interests, and counter programming.
Oh, yeah. As you said, basically, like a studio, for example, like look at Lionsgate this year. A lot of people are going to go to the next movie with a Lionsgate logo on it because of John Wick. And Lionsgate this year has performed really well because of that. And so is Sony in regards to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Spider-Verse. You name it.
Paramount.
Like, oh, that was Paramount. My bad. But like, if you look at the studios in regards to what they do, if they release a damn good project, usually their next movie, based on marketing and also their name being attached to it, does really well. And you know, from what I know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is working really well, so I can imagine the next Paramount movie is going to perform quite substantially, especially in kids media. Sony is the exact same, and if it's a part of a franchise, Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to perform really well, no matter how long that takes to come out.
That's true.
Warner Brothers, in regards to Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2 is going to perform really well. And it just shows that if you make a good movie with a lot of passion, effort, and charm behind it, and love, and it's not just vomiting out shit, you're going to have... people are going to come back for more. Like, I'm going to be honest, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is not going to get those next two sequels that has, Matthew Lillard attached to, apparently. But the reason why a movie like Mortal Kombat was granted for a sequel, even though it didn't have like the Mortal Kombat tournament, you can tell that this was a movie, even though not great and wasn't like the biggest piece of art, you can tell it was made by fans of the game, someone who was passionate about the source material, and there was a lot of care put into adapting it. And that's why it's got a sequel, and that's why a lot of people are excited for the next one. So it's
including this guy.
Me too. I loved the Mortal Kombat movie from 2021. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun, and I'm a big MK fan.
Super fun.
And the same goes for video games as well. You don't need a massive budget behind a game. You just need a good game or a good movie that the studio
and a good team.
And a good team that the studio wants to push forward for them to get back in the theater for your studio's movies and also that franchise movie. Like Halloween Ends last year performed terribly, even though it's a bit of a part of a big IP, even though Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018 performed extraordinarily well for a franchise over 40 years old. Yeah. But because of the reception of Halloween Kills, not as many people watched it even on Peacock at home.
Yeah, it's true. Lady Erin, since I know that you guys listen to a lot of film scores, what, in your opinion, are some of the most overrated film scores you ever listened to?
Oh, I'm going to get hate in flames.
Oh, go ahead. I'm going to get hate as well.
Oh, you're going to hate me.
Oh, no.
I don't think the musical arrangements for La La Land are all that special. I think it's good music. But I've heard so much music of the exact same type in the same genre, the same orchestral arrangements per se, in the same time signature, in the same jag and everything, like with the same rhythms and all that for jazz. And in comparison, it's nothing special. And but that's because I was also someone who was raised on jazz and old classic music. I think scores for movies like, I'm going to say it, the Iron Man, the original Iron Man score, the theme is great. The score as a whole is not.
Ooh, that's a hot take because I think that's the only good Iron Man score in general.
I will say I actually think the Iron Man 3 score is way better.
I disagree. That's the one where I think has a really good theme, but the score in general is very
Yeah, so we're
forgettable.
switched on that.
Yeah, we're switched.
You know what has an I'm gonna change it up slightly, but underrated score, and I'm gonna bring up this movie like the last two podcasts. The 2007 TMNT CG animated movie has a kick-ass score, in my opinion.
I can't say I even remember, to be honest, so I'm probably to blame for that. You want to know an overrated score that I believe won an Oscar, and I have no idea why it was even nominated because it's not that good of a score. I don't even remember the score at this point, but I remember at the time, which is why I'm commenting the Joker score for Joker 2019.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what the fuck they were smoking. They had to be smoking crack because that score is.
It had that one amazing theme. It had that one amazing sort of very subharmonic tune in there with the strings. That's it.
Yeah, I have no idea why that was there, why that was even in contention, not to say win. A very underrated score, Patrick Doyle's score for Kenneth Branagh's Thor. And it's still the best Thor score. Thor score. Still the best Thor score. All right. Nathan Madigan, thoughts on the trailer for the French murder thriller Anatomy of a Fall? It won the Palme d'Or Film Festival at Cannes. It could be a next Best Picture contender like Parasite and Triangle of Sadness. No idea. Never heard of this movie.
Never.
I didn't know it was a thing. So that's another trailer that we got, and I had no idea it had come out. So yeah. Dominic Scott, Disney is officially releasing Hulu exclusive Prey on physical media. What are your thoughts? Very happy thoughts. Those are my thoughts because I'm gonna buy it. And they're not just releasing it on physical media. They're releasing a steelbook, my friend, which is the most exciting part.
Behind the scenes of Prey, I can't wait to watch the Blu-ray for that. I'm sorry,
if
but
they have any.
If they have any, they better fucking have something. Because all I've seen is screenshots and videos on Twitter that are like 10 seconds long. And the thing I want to see the most on that Blu-ray is the behind the scenes. I love looking at behind the scenes for movies like Predator and Alien and Saw and Oppenheimer and all these types of movies. I want to, you know what? I'm going to buy the Barbie fucking Blu-ray just so I can watch the behind the scenes of that. Yeah. Because the Barbie behind the scenes looks like it'll be great.
Just so you can sing and learn the choreography for I'm Just Ken.
Exactly. But, like, seriously, I'm so excited to see that Blu-ray in my hands.
Same.
For Prey.
Shock rock hard pink steelbook in my hands.
It's pink.
Oh, you're talking about Prey. I was talking about Barbie.
I was talking about Prey just then. I was like,
but it should be pink. Every steelbook should be pink. Let's be honest.
Worst steelbook of the year so far is easily the Super Mario Brothers movie. I looked at that steelbook and I've gone, yeah, I'm just gonna buy the regular 4K. This is a bland fucking steelbook.
Oh no, they had such a cool poster. So colorful.
Like, hang on, I'll show you the steelbook. It was fucking awful.
Lady Aaron asks about underrated film scores, which we went into. Luis Feliciano, Ren and Patrick, what is the most underrated MCU show? And my personal favorite MCU show of all time? I don't know about your favorite MCU show of all time. The most underrated. Honestly, Moon Knight. That's probably the most underrated one. Yeah. What do you think?
WandaVision,
because you're not a fan of most of them. Yeah.
WandaVision, in all honesty, has had after it came out got a lot of hate, and I'm like, why? I don't get it. It was so unique. Also, yeah, this is the steelbook, by the way, for Mario. It was so just bland.
Hang on. I need to bring it up. Oh, that's it. That's shit.
Yeah, the inside's cool. If the inside was on the outside and the outside was on the inside, I'd be completely fine.
Yeah,
with that. Like, that would be awesome. I just feel
that's
like they're
kind
the
of
wrong way
shit.
around, and I don't want that
100%.
displayed. Just a plain black fucking spine in my Blu-ray collection.
Yeah, of Super Mario. Like that's not a movie that should
Yeah.
be all black.
No.
Did you see that as we revealed toys for season 2 with Goliath, Goliath Captain America, Hydra Stomper? No, not Goliath Captain America. The Hydra Stomper. Goliath is like Lawrence Fishburne's character, and Warrior Gamora. Well, we have seen Warrior Gamora. Like the Funko Pop came for season 1 because it was supposed to be a season 1 episode. And we saw her in the finale. I saw the pictures for the figures, and they look fun. Yeah. So yeah. Lady Aaron, I heard that sometime this week Barbie will become the highest grossing movie of 2023, surpassing Super Mario Brothers movie. Thoughts on this? I'm happy because it's a much better movie than Mario, and it's one of the best movies of the year. So keeps making bank and keeps making history. So yeah. Patrick?
Yahoo!
That's his support for Barbie. Luciana Ren, how excited are you for the film Beast? I'm not, because I have no idea what it is.
What the? Didn't Beast come out with Idris
No,
Elba?
it's not. So this one stars Leah Seydoux, George Mackay, and I'm hearing it's going to be shown at the Venice Film Festival. It's not, because the lineup is already out, and I didn't see a movie called Beast, The Beast, on the lineup. So yeah, I have no thoughts. I'm not excited. I'm not against it. I'm just neutral because I've not heard of this movie at all whatsoever. Never heard of this movie. No idea what it is.
What on earth?
Yeah. Yeah. Does it look good? Does it look bad? Does it look weird?
I'm just getting stuff with 2022's Beast and Transformers. Like, I can't see anything on this movie.
Try The Beast.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Try searching through Leah Seydoux or George Mackay's filmography.
I'll search for the director.
Yeah, whoever he is.
If the Beast, wow, it's got a trailer but no marketing otherwise. It's got no official screenshots. It's got no official posters. No nothing.
Where is it? Okay, here it is.
How strange.
Leah Seydoux. Oh, is it a French movie? Because George Mackay is in it. Huh. Romance drama. Oh, my mic almost fell off. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like if it plays at Venice and it's not clashing with anything else, sure. But I've not heard of this movie whatsoever, Luis. So I have no plans. Not no plans, but I have no excitement for it.
It's playing at Venice. There's a screenshot of the actual website.
Oh shit! Then I need to add it because there's one movie I'm not going to be able to watch. So yeah, thank you for putting it on my radar. Now I'm curious, but I had no idea it existed until now.
I'd go purely for Leah Seydoux.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm going to. All right, everyone. That was the final question. So that does it for this week's This Week in Geek. So next week, I have a friend coming over for the weekend because AEW All In is going down at the Wembley Stadium on Sunday, next Sunday, and we're going to that. So he's arriving on Saturday. I can't do the podcast while he's here because I'm going to be hanging out with my friend. He's not going to sit behind the computer waiting for me to be over. So next week, we're not going to have a show. The week after that, I'm at Venice. But 2 weeks from now, I'm back here. We'll be back on schedule to talk about Venice, the recap of it all, and whatever crazy movie news happens in the meantime. So thank you so much for joining. Patrick, I'll see if in the meantime I can do a Q&A, like special live, since we're not going to have a show next week to compensate. Patrick, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned, everyone. This week we got reviews for Ahsoka, episodes 1 and 2. They're dropping. My review drops on Tuesday. I'm excited to talk to you about that.
The Stench. I'm
not reviewing that. My review is on Letterboxd. I don't know what else. Yeah, I don't know what's coming out
What else
this
coming out?
week over here. So
One Piece is
stay
the week
tuned.
after.
It'll be well. I don't care about that.
Okay.
But stay tuned because there will be surprises on the channel. Maybe, hopefully, who knows? You'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much for joining us, and until the next one, love each other and love the movies. Bye bye, everybody.